History Month, people will have the chance this weekend to walk through some of Oakland's past. The West Oakland Cultural Action Network is hosting a walking tour through the Hoover-Foster neighborhood tomorrow. The tour takes people to some forgotten places of Oakland's Black history, including the California Hotel and the former St. Augustine's Church, which was a gathering place for civil rights activists. And when the freeways came to town, the neighborhood did take a hit. These tours began last year and have been happening on a regular basis. For more on what people can expect on these tours, David Peters, the founder and board president of the West Oakland Cultural Action Network, joins us live this morning. David, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. Happy Friday. You know, when you yourself were learning about Hoover-Foster and that neighborhood, what struck you the most about the history there?
I would say it's maybe C.O. Dellums. You know, I live next door to the house that I was born in and a block that my family has lived here since 1950. And so I think C.O. Dellums' story, him arriving on the train in 1921 to go to Cal, which was he thought was the only law school in America that would allow a black man to enter, and then realizing the tremendous sum of $30 was unfathomably expensive for him, and then becoming a labor organizer, second in command on the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters Union, and then his leadership in housing and job activism in the Bay Area and throughout the state, down the block from him.
So many people these days, you know, they drive 980, 580, 880, and they just drive right by the history. What did the construction of those freeways do to the neighborhood?
A couple of things. You know, my mom was displaced by 580 and moved over here where we are now. The amount it wiped out businesses, homeowners. Like, I know a guy whose family owned a business across the street from the California Hotel back then. They moved. We lost thousands of people. The economic damage to this community has never been recovered from. There is a debt owed for the result of redlining that is still owed today. And I believe that the city of Oakland has an obligation to make good on that, and they're able to do that through a tax increment financing plan that the Oakland A's are putting forth inside the Howard Terminal.
You know, stories over the years get lost, they disappear. Some don't even get put down in print, right? And so I feel like this tour looks to bring to life these stories. And looking on your website, maybe it's also Delilah Beasley's story, and that caught my eye because she's the first black female columnist for a major, you know, American newspaper. These stories have been fading, but through your tours, do you really look to bring back these stories to life?
Well, you know, these stories aren't fading. There are elders and people in this neighborhood who shared these with me. And so people have asked me, you know, what inspired me to do these stories? But that's not correct. These stories inspired me. You know, they helped make me and shape me into the man that I am today. And just as Delilah Beasley was here 100+ years ago, doing new things for black folks, you know, we've got folks like Annette Miller who are doing them today, who saved her house from foreclosure from a major national bank, you know, through organizing the will of the people to protect her family's legacy. These stories are not lost. We are still making sure we can capture them. We can capture the oral histories of our elders, and we can share them with the rest of the world. The history, this is an incredibly dense amount of history in a very small area. And people should know.
I'll tell you what, you said the one word, one of my favorite words, and that is inspire. And I'm glad to hear that those stories are inspiring you. You know, I remember when Uptown started popping up and changing, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, that brought artists, musicians to the neighborhood. It changed. How about the future of Hoover-Foster? What does that look like in your eyes?
Well, we want to see Hoover-Foster get its library back. Ms. Altonera Baker Cook founded the Friends of the Hoover Ramp Public Library. We had a library in this neighborhood for 100 years, from 1889 to 1981. And then the city closed it for some reason. By the city's own reckoning and metrics, we are the last remaining neighborhood in Oakland not to have a library. That fight is hot, it is active, and I firmly believe that we will have a library back in this neighborhood shortly. And that's what I see here in our future.
All right, David Peters, I mean, the stories are real, they're alive, and they're inspiring you and many others, and you're continuing to do this through the tours. Wishing you a great weekend here. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Black history is American history and world history. Thanks for covering this.
Yes, of course. And I want to let our viewers know that people are invited to join the Black Liberation Walking Tour tomorrow, 10 o'clock. We have a link to ticket information on our website at ktvu.com. Just look under the web link section.